Hi, I'm Gilda Bonanno, Executive Presentation Skills Coach. Today's video is Don't Present to the Screen, 6 frequently asked questions about how to use slides effectively. The first question is, why shouldn't I look at the screen when I'm using slides to deliver an in-person presentation? Well, when you deliver that presentation, you want to be connecting with the audience as much as possible. So the eye contact that you're making, the connection, the engagement happens if you're focusing on them rather than turning your back to them and looking at the big screen, which is behind you. You want to give them your full attention and face the audience rather than turning your back and talking to the screen and presenting to the screen. The second frequently asked questions about using slides is, what if I can't remember my content without looking at the screen where my slides are? You need to practice more. You want to make sure you know your content well enough that you don't need to read everything that's on your slides. You do this by practicing out loud. If you're going to be delivering it standing up, you stand up when you practice, you say the words out loud, and you really internalize that content so you know it well enough without having to read it word for word. You also could have notes perhaps on one page, maybe printed on heavy cardstock so you can hold it in one hand, but you don't want to have to rely on the screen to read your slides instead of communicating with the audience. The third question is, how much information should be on the slides? My answer is always less than you think. We've all seen those PowerPoint slides that are full of text, line upon line and sentence upon sentence. If all the information is there, written out in a script on your slides, why do I need you? You could just send the presentation out to the audience and we'd be done. You want to make sure that you are the focus. You are the presentation. The slides are just the visual aid. And you want to make sure then that your slides have a lot of impact, that they have pictures and images and graphs that are easy to read for people in the room, and that they're not dense with text that are hard to read and very confusing and overwhelming. So less information than you think you need on the slides. The fourth question that I often get asked is, what if when I look at the audience, they're looking at the screen and not looking at me? Well, that's okay. They're going to occasionally look at the screen. That's where your slides are. And it's another reason to have slides that are not very dense or overpopulated with information, because they can look at them quickly and then look back at you. So if you're looking at the audience and they're looking at your slides, that's fine, because eventually they're going to come back to you. They're going to look at you, and it would be great if you were looking back at them. Because again, that's how the engagement happens. That's how the communication happens. That's how you verify if they're with you, if they understand, if they have any questions. And the final question I usually get asked about using slides effectively is, where should I stand? You want to make sure you stand to the side of the screen. Now, I understand you don't always have control over where you stand and how the room is set up, but assuming you do have some control, stand to the side of the screen so you don't block it, so you don't get caught in the light of the projector so we don't see your silhouette. And use a remote control so you can advance the slides without having to be tethered to your laptop. Often there's a laser pointer on those remote controls so you can point to something on the screen if you'd like, rather than having to physically go up and gesture to it, which can be challenging if it's mounted very high, right? So you can use the laser pointer to do that. You can also position your laptop. If the room allows it, you can position your laptop in front of you like a confidence monitor, which is what they'd have at a larger conference, where the confidence monitor is called that because it gives you confidence. It's a monitor that's usually on the ground at a big conference center that allows you to see your slides and then look at the audience. So we can simulate this in a smaller environment by using your laptop on the table or desk in front of you. So when you're standing looking at the audience, you can look at this screen that has your slides on it, that's your laptop, and then look right at the audience without ever having to turn your back to look at your slides that are behind you. If you follow these guidelines, you're going to be more effective when you're delivering an in-person presentation using slides. I'm Gilda Bonanno. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And thanks for liking and subscribing to my channel.